Hello, Jungle Explorer here, and coming back at you with another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing this little compact scope. This is the AIM Sports 4x32. You can buy it on Amazon.com for about 20 bucks, depending on prices and stuff. Anywhere from about $19 to $21. It seems like a pretty decent little scope. Comes with this nice little caps for it. It's very compact, and that's what I wanted, was a really small little simple scope, nothing fancy. So I bought this hoping that it was going to be something better and that would be usable for my little Ruger 1022 here. I wanted something really compact for it, so I bought it. This is the Ruger 1022 Takedown. So I wanted something that would not be really cumbersome, that I could put into a backpack, go backpacking in the woods with, to have a weapon with me in case I needed it. I wanted something light, didn't weigh a lot. And so when I saw this, even though it was very cheap for the price, I was hoping it was going to be something that was really good. And really you can't expect a lot for the amount of money that they're charging for what you're getting. It actually comes with the scope rings, which by themselves would be probably a $7 investment there. So you're really not paying a whole lot for the scope, so you can't really expect that much. But you are buying a scope. It needs to be usable regardless of how much it costs. It needs to be usable, it needs to function, and it needs to accomplish its goal. Picking the scope up, it feels good, it feels solid, it feels well built. The one thing that I found, at least for my purposes, Ruger 1022 people might want to know this. This may not affect you if you're using a different model of rifle, is that it has about a 3-inch eye relief. And even though on the specifications it says like 2.5 to 3 inches, it really is a very narrow eye relief. It really, pretty much, you got to have your eye in the right spot. On the Ruger 1022 though, at a comfortable level where I'm holding it right now, it's really not the right. It needs about another 2 inches of eye relief. I've got this little Picatinny rail here, and I've got the scope moved all the way back. It's as far back as it possibly can go on the little rail. It still needs about another 2 inches to be comfortable. Now, I'm not saying I can't use it. I can actually scoot my head forward to it, but it's really about a 2.5-inch eye relief, not a 3-inch. And it just really doesn't work. So if you're thinking about buying it to use it on a Ruger 1022, it's really not going to work where it's comfortable. I've had 3 or 4 people put this up to their eye, and when they just throw it up and they look through it, it's not at the right eye relief. It needs to be back further. I'm going to try to compensate for that later with a different kind of a mounting system. But so that has nothing to do with the quality of the scope. I'm just kind of telling you that if you're looking to put it on a Ruger 1022, it's really not going to work unless you change this, put a different kind of a stock on it with a shorter stock or something like that. It's going to be, I'm not saying it's not usable, it's just not comfortable. So let's go into the actual scope itself. It's got a really nice reticle on it. It's got this, I think they said Rangfinder reticle on it. I'm not sure exactly how to use that. The one thing, I'm going to throw a picture up here of the reticle so you can see it. You'll see that range finding. And the one thing about the reticle on it that I was really kind of, for my purposes, it's very bold. I mean, I would call it an ultra bold reticle. Of all the scopes I've used in over 40 years of hunting, I think this is probably the boldest reticle I've ever seen. Just really, really heavy duty. That is actually good, I guess, if you want something that's not going to break. So I think it would be difficult to break this reticle because it is so thick. Just it's going to be hard to knock it about and break it. So that's a good thing. I've actually seen reticles break on scopes before. So that's one plus side. But the downside to the very thick reticle is it doesn't provide for really super accurate shooting. I have a target up range here, and I'm just looking through the scope at it. I'm going to throw this little camera up here, and as soon as I get it on here, I'm going to zoom it in to the actual target up there. And I'm going to throw that on screen for you. Tighten it up here. It's kind of... Okay, I'm going to throw that up on screen there for you so you can see that. And now you can see those red dots. Now those red dots on that target, the small ones are the size of a dime. And with this scope, that's 25 yards away. The crosshairs are completely covering that red dot. So at 25 yards, which is what I'm at right now, that reticle completely covers that red dot. You can't see it. The middle dot is a little bit bigger. You can still see it a little bit, but you know, it's very, very heavy duty reticles. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you some different reticle sizes from a comparison. Now I want to compare the scope to another compact scope on my AR-15 here. This is a UTG Bug Buster. So let's lay them side by side so you kind of get an example. You can see that the aim scope is considerably smaller. Go ahead and take these scope caps off here so you can kind of get a better idea. Line up the backs of them. It's shorter. It's less heavy duty. Now obviously the Bug Buster, we're comparing apples to oranges here. This is an $82 scope, or $80, $85 scope here. It's got a variable or adjustable objective on it. It's got lighted reticles, illuminated reticles. So it's a much more heavy duty scope. But I just wanted you to kind of get an idea. It's hard looking on pictures on advertisements to tell how big things are one to another. You can actually tell here that this scope is a little bit larger. But then again, larger means heavier. So this scope weighs, I think, 1.4 pounds. This one's coming in right at, I think, 12 ounces. I can't remember the exact specifications of it, but it's a lot lighter. And that's what I really wanted for this gun. This is the Ruger 1022. This is the AR-15. You don't need all this. You're not going to be shooting this 200 yards. This you will be shooting 200 yards plus. So this is a 3x9 power scope. This is a 4 power scope only. So you know, you don't need a whole lot on a 22. You don't need a lot of fancy stuff. You're not going to be making long range shots with it. You know, you're going to be shooting in the 20 to 50 yard range with your 22, even closer. So you don't need that. So this is a good little scope for a 22. But what really disappointed me in this is actually when I went to move the adjustments on it here. And so let's go ahead and take the scope caps off here. I mean, honestly, it actually causes an indentation in my fingers to actually move them. I mean, it is hard. They are really hard to move. And they in some places they feel like they got sand in there. I mean, oh gosh. I mean, it's actually putting a dent in my fingers to move these things. And they don't move smooth. They're very, very rough. Now maybe with time they would get better. But they're really not that good. So what I'm going to do is kind of do a sight in here. I have not sighted the scope in. It's from the factory where it came. So I'm going to try to sight it in here. Got my ammunition in there. And just going to see where it hits. This is a factory shot. I'm going to throw the target up on the screen there again. I'm going to start with the middle, see where she hits. Turn my safety off. Huh. Wow. Not even sure where it hit. Okay, 25 yards from the factory, I'm not even hitting the target. I believe it's shooting low. I'm gonna adjust it up a little bit here. And I'll take another shot here, see if I can hit the target. Okay, I finally hit. So I was aiming at the very top of the target there, over at the right hand corner, and so I hit. I need to come way up on it here, and I need to come to the right a considerable amount. There we go. Got to come up some more. Getting there. Alright, now we're back past it. We'll keep the height the same. We'll come back left a little bit. Come back left again. Good, now we're kind of getting there. And we need to come down. I'm gonna get some more bullets and I'll be right back. Okay, back, and let's see what we can do here. Oh, right on the money on that one. Okay, it moved a little bit. So, little high. We'll go a couple clicks down. It's really rough to really adjust this. Seems to be holding a pretty good pattern over there to the left a little bit. Try to get her zeroed in here. I'm using AR tactical long rifle here, copper nosed, copper plated round nose ammunition. It's pretty accurate stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to shoot at one of the other targets. I'm dead on. So we'll go with the bottom left one now, since it's already got a hole in it from before. Go ahead and take my time here and try to put these all in that tin. It's hard because the reticle's so big on it. Well, that's funny because I had it dead on and then it seems to be walking a little bit left. I'm going to give it 2 clicks to the right. And it went up there in the middle. I was hitting pretty bullseye there. I know I wasn't pulling off. I was holding it real steady there. So I'm going to go ahead and give it another try. I had to adjust it quite a bit. It may take it a few rounds to stabilize. I'm just going to keep putting rounds through it and see if it'll stabilize up there. I don't like a scope that moves on me. That's what we're trying to do here, is see if it'll hold 0 on us. Okay, we're going for the bottom right now. Take a little rest here. Okay. It held pretty good. I'm going to go up 2. I want to take that red all the way out. It seems to be stabilizing. Didn't get no movement on that one. Jumped around just a little bit, but this Ruger 1022 doesn't have the best of triggers on it. It's a new rifle. It's not smooth yet. I really need to put a trigger upgrade on it. Okay, so now we're going top right. Got a mosquito biting my arm. Don't like anything bothering me when I'm trying to make a shot here. Well, I moved it up to, but it didn't go up, but it did hold really good on that one. I mean, that was just basically the first couple shots were off to the right, but then it centered in really good. Seems like every time I move it, it tends to have to kind of balance out a little bit. Go ahead and all right. All right, now top left. What is it? Don't walk up on me like that. Is that my new scope? You bought that?
No, it's the one you bought.
Oh, okay, good. All right, I'm doing a review. Okay, so there you have it. It doesn't seem to want to move up on me as I changed the turrets here. I moved it up from the bottom right. I moved it up 2 clicks, then I went to the top right, moved it up 2 clicks, moved it over to the top left, and I moved it up 3 clicks, and it didn't go up any. It just stayed where it is. It seems to be holding 0, but it may, it's not really moving right with the clicks. So with time, I think I probably could use it, but the crosshairs on it are a little thick for me. I like to have a little more precision with them. It's not a bad little scope. It'll work, but because of the thickness of the crosshairs, the stiffness of the actual adjustments on it, and the poor eye relief, at least for my situation, I'm not really happy with it. It's just not something that that's going to serve for my purposes. I obviously can hit with it precision enough for squirrel hunting, things like that, and that would be good, but it's just I'm not really confident. Just, you know, especially the turrets here, the adjustment turrets just feel kind of rough to me. They feel like they got sand in them. I didn't see the response that I'd like to see when I adjusted it. You know, I'm not saying it's a bad scope. I'm probably a 3 out of 5 stars is what I'd give it. For the price you're paying, really, honestly, it's hard to complain because you get the rings with it. So you're paying about maybe $15 for the scope. It would be good for a beginner, for somebody who's just needing something to throw on their gun. Definitely, it's usable, but I'm just not real excited about it for long-term use. So I'm going to let you make the decision on whether it's the right scope for you or not. It meets several of the requirements that I was looking for. It's compact, it's light, it's simple, it doesn't have a lot of extra stuff on it, but it just doesn't feel to be the quality that I would like to see to give me confidence that I could go in the woods with it, especially in shooting here. It just didn't respond to the adjustments like I'd like to see it. It just wasn't true to the clicks and things. I like when I click move up, I like it to move up. I don't want to have to move, you know, 6 clicks up and not move at all. So you know, maybe it's just because I had to turn it 3 or 4 times. I had to make 4 or 5, actually I think about 5 complete resolutions to get it up on target at 25 yards, and that came from the factory that way. That may have to do with the configuration of the gun, but that was quite a bit of movement to be able to get the sight close to bullseye. So, you know, a different configuration might be different, but we'll see what happens. But I think that it's not something that I would trust for any serious shooting. It is good for you know, something to throw on your gun and to use. It works okay. It's a little bit short on the eye relief for a Ruger 1022, but it is usable. So I'm going to give you some examples here of some crosshairs that I've taken some pictures of. I'm going to put them up on screen. And in this first shot, you're going to see white background, and you're going to see the Bug Buster and the AIM Sports crosshair side by side. You'll see the difference in them. It's a really nice crosshair. It's got a lot to it, you know, with the Rangfinder and stuff. But it's just super bold, super thick. Earlier in the day, I had them out, and I was targeting some of my chickens out in the wheat field at about 30 yards. This first one's going to be the Bug Busters on a rooster's head at 30 yards. Actually about 35 yards. And then, so you can see that there. The next one is going to be the AIM Sports crosshairs on that same rooster at about 25 yards. To give you kind of idea what they look like on an actual animal, it's easier to tell. You know, a rooster's head is going to be larger with the comb and everything than a squirrel's head, but it'll give you an idea kind of what it looks like. So I'm going to put the two on screen here for you so you can see them side by side, and you can get an idea there side by side what they look like, just for comparisons. Anyways, so now we're done with the comparisons. So here you go. That's the AIM Sports 4x32 single power scope here. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 stars, and I'm not going to recommend it for any serious shooting, but it is good for, you know, basic toying around and plinking. It'd probably be a fine scope for playing around. Anyways, it's definitely worth the price you pay for it, but it's not worth much more than that. So there you have it. That's the review of the AIM Sports 4x32 single power scope. I hope you've enjoyed it. If it's found it useful and it's helped you out, please like, subscribe, and comment. Until next time, Jungle Explorer signing out.